All right, the president is certainly feeling the heat of late over those canceled White House tours. So is he actually now passing the buck?
I have to say this was not a decision that went up to the White House.
Well, instead, the president is saying it was the Secret Service that decided that. Let's not just say this is sitting well with my next guest. Dan Bongino used to protect the president as a Secret Service agent. He is the one highlighted on this video. But now he says the president's essentially throwing the entire agency under the bus. Well, Dan, you would know, I guess, who's right on this? I mean, would it be the Secret Service that would make this decision on its own without any consult with the executive branch? What?
No, Neil, that's not possible. You know, this is, by the way, thanks for having me. This is an act of political cowardice. You know, I stayed away from this story for a while. This didn't just happen yesterday, as you know, the sequester. But throwing the Secret Service under the bus, and I'm not speaking for them, I'm speaking as a former agent, but I know a lot of men and women who have spoken to me on this, who are still there, who are very upset about this. You know, this was, like I said, an act of political cowardice. These are men and women who would lay down their lives proudly at a moment's notice for the President of the United States, and he conveniently finds a political target in them, uses them, knowing that they're, you know, they're going to take it on the chin. They always do, because that's the kind of folks they are. But this disgusted me. It really did.
So, Dan, let's say when it comes to overseeing White House tours, is that something that the Secret Service would be overseeing at all?
No, we don't determine, Neil, who comes into the White House. We just secure who does come in, absent the obvious, if it's a known felon.
What is the parent agency? Isn't it Treasury for?
No, you have the White House Social Office, you have the EOP,
no,
Executive
for
Office
the Secret Service. For the
DHS, Department of Homeland Security.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So
sure.
That would ultimately fall under Janet Napolitano.
Right, and the mechanics of it, though, Neil, walking you through it, is that we don't determine who comes into the White House. These are guests of the president and the president's staff. The Secret Service gets a few tour slots, but that's it. All they do is secure who comes in. We don't determine who comes in there. So to say that this was the Secret Service and that they somehow injected themselves into a political decision, well, do they get to tell them to stop taking vacations and to stop going golfing as well? I mean, this doesn't even pass the smell test, this argument.
So I'm trying to follow this through, Dan, if you'll just indulge my thick skull. When, after 9/11, White House tours stopped, I guess because they thought that could be a security threat and they didn't want to, you know, fool around with us. Who made that call? Was that a call on the part of the Secret Service at the time? Others? Who?
Sure. Well, if it's a security situation like that, that's done. But here's the irony, Neil. Even that wasn't done by the Secret Service alone. It was done in conjunction with the EOP, Executive Office of the President. They don't make these decisions unilaterally. You know, it's nonsense. This is like the Thurston Howell class of political aristocrats where, you know, shut down the White House to the public, the house you own, blame it on the Secret Service, get caught, and then lie about it. I mean, at what point are other folks in the media going to start to say, hey, we've been punched in the face enough by this administration. You know, it's time to call them on it.
All right, because I thought, as did you, that all of the executive decisions post a deal like this, sequestration, are in the executive branch's purview. But we'll see.
Well, they haven't cut an employee or cut any salaries in the Executive Office of the President. They just cut you out of the White House.
Dan, thank you very, very much.
Thanks, Neil. Always a pleasure.